Championship matches tonight, and we've full commentary. Let's return to Vicarage Road, where we'll hear from former Town captain Mick Mills in a moment. He's back alongside Brenna Woolley.
So Town round off their 4-match road trip with a relatively short hop when it comes to your average championship journey. We've arrived in Hertfordshire, hoping a return to England brings about a return to winning ways after back-to-back disappointments in Wales. And boy, do Kieran McKenna's men need a victory. I know you can say that with 3 home games on the horizon. A point tonight and then 9 out of 9 would be a good return. And I do get that, but I feel supporters need to see more than a draw this evening, because the mood amongst fans isn't good at the moment, to put it mildly. You can talk all you like about Town being 4th in the table with games in hand, with a 3rd best defence and 2nd best attack in the division, but people just aren't taking to this team for whatever reason. They feel underwhelmed by them. That's surely got to change if they're to be successful. Pep Guardiola and Eddie Howe both said recently in the Premier League a close bond between players and fan base can be hugely beneficial. It does carry a lot of weight. The 2 sets of players out of the tunnel down below us. We are in the Sir Elton John stand here at Vicarage Road, which is a fine stadium now. It's had a lot of redevelopment work done in recent years. They've walked to the far side, the Graham Taylor stand, to go through their pre-match ritual. 15 games to go. Mick, Town kind of need to start a winning run at some point, don't they, to find some consistency?
Yes, I think the only real spell that we've had this season has been in the month of December, when it's pretty much started off with that terrific performance and result at Coventry, and that sort of got us some sort of momentum, and we really sort of picked up a lot of points going into the new year. But we seem to just every now and again sort of hit a brick wall, you know, and it, generally speaking, is away from home, and obviously we just had a sequence of games away from home, so this is the last one of a number, and then we're confronted with those 3 home games coming up. So what you need to do is get some sort of result here tonight, and even a draw for me would be enough, just to take us into those 3 games where, you know, we can certainly get sort of 7 or 9 points from those games, I'm pretty sure, you know. So a number of changes in the Town team, but I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm not too bothered about who's going to play. I just feel that I've come to the conclusion that apart from maybe 2/3 players, the rest of them are on a line, they're on a par. They're all of the similar sort of standard, and they all offer a similar sort of performance. So I think the big squad, the only thing it's doing for me this year really is covering for a spate of injuries, which we haven't really got, but it's there if we were to get it. So this is a strong side. I just worry about the continuity. 4 changes for both managers tonight. Had a kick-off here at Vicarage Road. Out go Davis through a knock, we understand. Taylor, Burns and Mehmeti are on the bench. In come Greaves, Neil for his full league debut, Nunez and Egley. Walton is in goal. The back 4, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre a goal scorer at the weekend, and Greaves. Matu Siwa beside Neil. Then it's Egley, Nunez and Clark. And behind Athon. On the bench, Palmer, Johnson, Taylor, Kayuste, Mehmeti, McAteer, Burns, Akpom, Hurst. The 4 changes for Ed still. Goglachidze is out, so too Ngakia, Kayembe and Marma. In come Pollock, Petri, Bola and Shakvatadze. We understand they might be changing to a back 3. Selvic's their keeper. The 3 would be a Banquer, Pollock and Funi. The wide players Petri and Bola, in between them Loser the captain alongside Mendy. Karumgo plays through the centre up top. Erin Kanduna on one side and Shakvatadze on the other. On the bench, Baxter and Gakia, Inspove, Ekwa Semedo, Dumbaya, Mendy, the other Mendy, Formos, Nampali's is in the team, and Kayembe. Just the 9 different nationalities in this Watford side, which does tend to be the way, and there's another 4 on the bench. The referee tonight in all black, Ben Toner, gave Town a first-minute penalty at Coventry in the Cup last season. Long ball forward for Ipswich Town. They're playing in blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. Defending the end off to our right-hand side, Christian Walton in front of that packed away end, and he's got an early touch of the ball. Watford in their yellow shirts with the red stripes on the front, red shorts, red socks.
Their goalkeeper in all black, currently on the edge of his area, the Norwegian Selvik. The ball is with Dara O'Shea, gives it to Cedric Kipre on the edge of the town box. Walton, left-footed, drills it out to the far side, but it's headed forward by Bowler before Eggley could get involved. And once more, it's Kipre. That was some finish from him at Wrexham at the weekend, wasn't it? He gives it to Greaves near side. Greaves down the line looking for the run of Athon. Took his goal well before half-time at the weekend. Ivan Athon, who got town level for the second time in that game. Greaves and Clark working out who's going to be taking the throw-in just underneath us, and it will be the former Hull man. He'll be facing his former side potentially in a week's time at Portman Road, Jacob Greaves. Kipre gives it back to Greaves in front of us, the number 24. Kieran McKenna told me after his recent start at left-back how happy he is for Greaves to play in that position. Furlong, little ball down the line to Eggley. Big night for him, real opportunity ahead of McAteer to start this particular fixture. Here is Dan Neil through a little gap to Clark in midfield, 30 yards from goal. Little stumble from the number 47, gets the edge of the box to left. Greaves, early in from Greaves. Good play from Ipswich. On the stretch to put it out behind is a Banquet. Town of an early corner.
Yeah, that was lovely football by Town. It was really sharp, it was precise, it was accurate, and it ended up with Jack Clark in possession, and he fed Jacob Greaves. And what I liked about Jacob there, no sort of control, just first touch into the box just to test Watford out.
Yeah, I loved that as well. I was hoping he was going to do that when the ball came to him, and he did. First time in, test Watford. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Marcelino Nunez back in the starting lineup with it, and it comes to the middle. Double-fisted away off his line by Selvik. Back towards the Chilean, who took his eye off the ball. Aaron Kunda clears, not very far, only as far as Matu Siwa, who's very quiet at the weekend, most out of character. Clark knocks the ball into the box up towards Kipre, who's still up from the set piece. Out as far as Neil. Neil will the header down to Eggley. Good pressure from Town early on. Loser gets involved for Watford. He got their goal at Portman Road when they took the lead. It was 1-1 there earlier on this season. Here is Aaron Kunda, the Australian, likes to get forward, trying to play it down the line to Petrie, who'd gone on an overlap. It's out of play for a through to Watford, just a few yards to the right-hand side of Kieran McKenna. As Ed Still, in his third match in charge of Watford, applauds the standoff to our left-hand side as they sing his name. He's had a draw and a win so far, the older brother of former Southampton boss Will Still. Here's Petrie with the throw towards Aaron Kunda, well marshalled by Matu Siwa. O'Shea goes long from the edge of his area, looking for the run of Athon. Not a bad ball, headed away by the Watford backline, picked up by the number 6 Neil. Neil holds on to it, does a full 360, then gives Clark the ball down the left-hand side infield, looking for Neil, who of course they played together at Sunderland. Here is Loser. Was actually linked with Ipswich Town in the last transfer window, the Moroccan. Given away by Watford. Ipswich Town on the front foot. They've started this game very well. Oh, Nunez slipped on the far side. He still got up, but then lost the ball to Funi. Did that twice at the weekend, Nunez. Maybe wants to consider different footwear. He's done well to win the ball back. Good work from Nunez. Matu Siwa to Neil. Getting a few touches, Neil. On from Clark to Athon. Tried to play the 1-2. Kind of started this game very brightly. Aaron Kunda taken out by Greaves. The referees played a good advantage. Petrie, tall player down this right-hand side, flying forward. Greaves has done very well to get back and close the door. Good work from Greaves.
Yeah, a couple of good recoveries. First one from Nunez and the second one from Jacob Greaves. Jacob Greaves has started comfortably in Leif Davis's position.
Lovely ball from Matu Siwa to Athon, onside. He ran the line brilliantly. The Spaniard's inside the area, goes to the byline, tries to play it centrally. It's come off the Irishman, a Banquet, and gone out for another corner to Town on top.
Yeah, that's Azon's forte, running the channels, whereas George Hurst tends to like the central area and fight the centre halves. Azon is his forte is the channels, and he did really well there.
Nunez on his and Ipswich Town's second corner kick. Started this game well, nice tempo about them. Corner kick to Ipswich. Exactly 5 minutes played at Vicarage Road. 0-0. Pleasant evening for football, and it comes from Nunez. Good delivery towards the far post. Oh, missed by the goalkeeper, and also Athon out behind. Goal kick to Selvik.
Yeah, I just wondered whether Athon could have just launched himself at that, because it was dropping rapidly. It was, you know, by the time it got to roughly where he was positioned, you're talking about the ball only being about 5 foot off the ground, you know, and he didn't really sort of make much of an attempt, and I thought that he could have possibly been made contact, but both the corners we've had so far have been good corners.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a chance for Ipswich Town. There's a challenge by Kiprit on Irankunda on the halfway line. Mr. Toner was right on the spot to give a free kick to Watford, who in general, just the one win from their last 8 games. They have drawn 4 of them, only the 3 defeats, but at one stage I think they might have got up to 3rd in the live table not that long ago, but they've dropped off, but still in the hunt, as many teams are, for that 6th and final spot. Wide left, Bowler tries to cross the ball in, Furlong comes back off Bowler. Oh, he's somehow got a corner kick. That didn't look like a corner kick to me. It should have been a goal kick, I'd have thought, to Ipswich Town. That's what they felt. I felt the Watford player got the final touch. Corner, though, has been given Watford's way. Loser is on it. This is the first time Ipswich Town have been tested defensively in this championship match. 6.5 minutes gone. It's the captain of Watford over in the far right corner with the left-footed delivery. It's bounced inside the area, out it comes, knocked back into the Ipswich Town area. Good defending, flag's gone up anyway. A couple of Town players have gone down, Greaves and Walton. And it's a free kick to Ipswich.
Yeah, first little bit of defending we've had to do. You know, they were a bit fortunate to get the corner kick. They got it and they swung it in and put us under a bit of pressure. But generally speaking, the opening few minutes of the game, there's only 6 minutes have gone, we've been sort of pretty comfortable and quite like how we've sort of started the game, really.
Kieran McKenna having a word with Ivan Athon down below us as Christian Walton gets some treatment off to our right-hand side. Full schedule of fixtures in the Championship tonight and tomorrow night. Blackburn against Bristol City tonight. Hull against Derby is an interesting one. As I say, Hull are at Portman Road a week tonight. Middlesbrough at home to Leicester. Both sides desperate for points at opposite ends of the spectrum. Swansea, who come to Portman Road. Cameron Burgess and co at home to Preston. West Brom Charlton, that's a massive game for the Baggies. Wrexham against Portsmouth also tonight, and Southampton against QPR. Still Walton getting some treatment. Town have started this game well, albeit we've yet to see a goal. Town with Greaves, Neal, Nunez and Eggerly in for the injured Davis, Taylor, Burns and Mehmeti. If you went with us at the start of this 7:45 kick-off, as Town start a little run of 3 successive Tuesday night games. We're in Stoke 2 weeks tonight, and as Walton is up on his feet, ready to get play back underway. And Town have started well in this match. Here is Kipre. Now it's Greaves in the side for Davis, cutting in field, going back towards Neal. Neal's robbed momentarily by Kirungo. Now Loser picks it up in midfield, gets it back from Shakvatadze. Here is Mendy, an FA Cup winner with Leicester. Well played by Clark. He's taking the ball off of a Banqua down the left-hand side. Ipswich Town on the attack. Clark tries to get into the area, held up by a Banqua. Still Clark has it, goes down on one knee. There's another player there, Petrie. Clark's done very well to find Matthew Siwa. He plays it back into his own half. And Kipre.
Yeah, good threatening run from Jack Clark. Banqua was one of those players where he sort of probably believes he's quicker than most players in the country, and his position on Jack Clark was poor, and Jack Clark was able to sort of take him on down the outside and all the time looked a threat.
Good ball forward from Kipre to Athon. Little layoff to Neal. Athon caught offside. He's wagging his finger towards the assistant on the far side. He disagrees with the decision. Free kick though to Pollock, one of the 3 Englishmen in this Watford side, one of their longest serving players as well, Matty Pollock. He plays it to the left hand side, and Funny, the 18-year-old from Manchester City, has been getting rave reviews. He's on loan here. Long ball from Bowler is a waste. O'Shea picks it up on the edge of the Ipswich Town penalty area, and the captain carries it forward. It was the captain that got the winner for Town the last time we were here, Sam Morsey, with a terrific late goal to win 2-1 in the promotion season back in December of 23. Town unbeaten in the last 5 against Watford. Before that period, Watford had a real hold, a real bogey team over Town for many seasons. Matthew Siwa knitting things together in midfield. Nunez has run it into the centre circle. Finds Greaves to his left. 10 minutes on the clock. Clark skips in field, gives it to Nunez. He bends it round the back of the referee to Furlong, far side. On that far touchline, Egley, the right winger, up against Bowler. Gets in field. Chakvetadze doubles up and helps Bowler. Loser into his own area. And Funi gives it to Chakvetadze. He's a real fan's favourite here, Chakvetadze. Loose from Watford. And swept up by O'Shea back to his goalkeeper, who seems to be all right, having received that treatment, Walton.
Yeah, I just think I've seen a vulnerable area that Watford are trying to sort of, the way they're trying to play, I think is going to be really bad for them and good for Town. They've got the right centre back, he's trying to play actually on Jack Clark and Petrus on Jacob Greaves, and it won't work. He's trying to play as a wing back against our left back. He should be picking Clark up.
Well done O'Shea, playing a ball between the lines to Clark, who's in midfield at the moment. Turns the ball around the corner, in goes Loser, back to a Banquet, and Selvik occupying a penalty area off to our left. First time clearance from him, headed down and out by Greaves on this near side, appealing for the throw-in, but it's clearly come off him. Watford ball underneath us.
Yeah, I just look at the other side, and Bowler, the left wing back, is quite naturally trying to pick up Egley, and this side they're in an absolute mess as to who is going to play on Jack Clark and who is going to take the forward run in Jacob Greaves.
Watford's fourth season at this level. 6 out of the last 11 seasons of theirs have been in the Premier League, though. Kirumgo to halfway, a Banquet puts it down the line for Petrie, trying to get goal side of Greaves. Greaves looks to have sorted that one out. He does. Uses bulk and strength to hold off Petrie. And that's a goal kick that Walton will take. They finished 14th last season. Watford.
Jacob Greaves always looks immediately comfortable as a left back.
He does, doesn't he?
He's got reasonable pace. He's very, very strong. And his positional play is good, and he doesn't mind joining in on attack, so he really sort of settles in nicely there. Clark
loses the ball to Banquet, then accidentally for me tripped Petrie, but it's still going to be a free kick to Watford, just a smidgen inside the Ipswich Town half. 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, as Saturday's home game against Swansea will be, when Town will try to double the Swans, who are another one of the many teams in the hunt for a playoff place. That is a fascinating battle from Wrexham downwards, involving so many clubs. Here is Greaves with a throw, and back to Kipre. He plays it into the Ipswich area with 13 minutes on the clock. O'Shea to Furlong to halfway, and Nunez challenged by Loser. Loser takes the ball off of Nunez, finds Chakvetadze. Nunez is challenging Chakvetadze, who's run it into the centre and giving it back to a Banquet. To the right, Petrie. Banquet's gone on an overlapping run down the line and got the ball. Slight stumble. Greaves has closed him down, tried the back heel to come off the shin pads of Greaves. Clark runs it away. He's been held up by a Banquet. He's done well, Clark, very well. Good ball from Neil to Furlong with ground to run into over the halfway line. The former West Brom player gives it to Egley outside the Watford area. This would be a good goal. Overlapping Furlong. Furlong tries the pull back for Matusiwa. It's come off the defender's trailing leg and out for a corner kick. Nice by Town. Yeah, it was a good move, and we really had good numbers. There was a 3v3. All three centre-backs of Watford were occupied, and we had the overlapping Darnell Furlong come in like a train, and Egley was in complete control of the ball. There were great possibilities there with that move. Egley over in the far left corner of Vicarage Road under that gigantic floodlight. 0-0 in the 15th minute. Town fans in fine voice off to our right, and it comes from Egley, not good enough, headed away by Aaron Kunda, back towards the forehead of the Norwegian. He pops the little header back to Nunez, who controls it, looks up, lovely ball from Nunez to Egley, maybe just too much on it. Kirumgo back defending, shielded out behind. Unlucky though from Town's perspective. Yeah, but I'm really annoyed with the corner kick. I really would rather the corner kick was swung in and the goalkeeper deals with it than we hit what we call the first man. That's the first player towards the corner taker. He stands about sort of 6 yards out and probably 4 or 5 yards away from the near post. When the ball is tamely hit into him and he clears it, it really drives me mad. Town have won 3 of their last 4 here, having lost the previous 6 on this ground. Always used to be miserable coming to this part of Hertfordshire back in the day. They were behind the last time before Hurst and Morsey turned things around for Ipswich Town in the promotion season. Here is Loser getting in between the central player in the back three and also the left-sided one, Fooney. Don't know how often Fooney's played in a back three in the past. He has been playing left back to rave reviews, but he's certainly playing to the left of the three tonight. Here is Abankwah, part of the full Republic of Ireland squad, James Abankwah. Petrie into the middle for Loser, miscontrolled it, challenged Matusiwa, went down, the referee said that's fine. Ed Still's unhappy. The Watford manager has his hands above his head, still waving them. Town have the ball with Greaves, and now Town have stopped play, so Loser can maybe get some treatment. Kieran McKenna's not impressed.
No, and quite rightly so. I don't think there was any need for that player to receive any attention from the referee. That he's just gone down. It's in the centre circle. We've got good control of the ball. We've got great options. And I don't know why the referee wanted to get concerned with the player. He's on his feet already. He hasn't had treatment. Very, very poor stoppage of a game.
Yeah, totally needless. He's signalling a stamp by Matusiwa. Didn't really see that.
Well, if it was, then why isn't it a free kick?
Exactly. It's going to be an unchallenged drop ball for Jacob Greaves. Had a warm embrace, Matusiwa and Loser afterwards. No hard feelings. Kipre down the left wing to Clark, 0-0. He makes room for a cross, right-footed into the middle. It comes, easy catch for Selvik, backpedaling to a yard off of his goal line. Still not much goal-mouth action in this game. Town have been the better side so far. Left-footed from Selvik. Karungo, good header on from him to Irankunda. This might be a threat. Irankunda, lots of blue shirts back. Irankunda into the box, lovely ball, right-hand side, low ball in from Mendy, headed away by Kipre. Good strong forehead that was. Here is Clark. Town playing it around in a little triangle and left back, involving Clark, Neal and Greaves. Greaves clears forward. Abankwah heads it out for a throw to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, I thought we've been in complete control of the game up until that move. That's Watford's best move of the game without question. They've got themselves into a really dangerous area to put the ball in, and we were lucky really to get away with it. But generally speaking, this has been a very comfortable start for Ipswich. They've dominated the ball and they've had very, very few scary moments. Even then, Watford hardly poured players forward. The Blues were comfortably outnumbering the yellows and reds. I was waiting for more yellows and reds to appear on the scene for Watford, but they didn't really. It always looked like Town would be able to defend the situation fairly comfortably, unless Watford did something particularly thrilling. Didn't amount to anything in the end. O'Shea standing on the ball in the middle third, gives it short to Kipre. Now Matusiwa passes it to the left-hand side, and Neal keen to get on the ball. He shifts it square to Clark, quickly to the edge of the area. Clark gives it into the box to Athon. Good first touch, out as far as Neal might have a go. Instead gives it to Nunez, back to Matusiwa. Town have worked it out to the right, and Egley. This is good football from Kieran McKenna's side. Egley back to Matusiwa. He dinks a ball towards the goalkeeper. It's always going to be an easy one for Watford to deal with, and the goalkeeper's caught it. Yeah, it's the right sort of type of ball for Matusiwa to put in, but he's got to really get his foot, wrap his foot right the way round, and the target really is the backside of the 6-yard box, not the goalkeeper. Here's Abankwah up to halfway. Poor touch from Matusiwa. The ball goes up to Kirungo. Fooney along the floor. Lovely ball from him straight to Bowler. A rare foray forward from Watford, this. Shakford Tadzi on the left corner of the Ipswich area, teasing Egley, getting away from him. In comes his cross to the palms of Walton. Let's go back to Graham. It's 0-0 here.
1-1 at Ewood Park between Blackburn and Bristol City. Hull 1, Derby 1, and Leicester ahead at Middlesbrough.
Oh, that's good news as far as Ipswich Town are concerned. Very good news as far as Leicester are concerned. They're at Portman Road a week on Saturday. That's going to be an interesting game. Furlong over on the far side, the right back. O'Shea to Kipre, and then it goes back to Walton in the 20th minute here at Vicarage Road. Now 11 years since the famous 1-0 Richard Chaplow game here, and that goal off to our right-hand side that sparked crazy scenes amongst the Town fans. Nunez, lovely ball in behind for Athon. Can he get ahead of the goalkeeper? He does. He goes round him. He tries to play it into the middle. There's no blue shirt. He finds Pollock instead. Fooney drops his shoulder, getting away from Egley. Plays it to Abankwah. Good play again from Town. They got in there.
Yeah, again, Athon doing the channel work. He's done it down the left-hand side. That one was down the right-hand side. He does it really, really well.
Flag up for an offside against Ipswich Town. Free kick that one of these back three will take for Watford as we are a couple of minutes shy of the midway point in this first half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game. Here's a Banquer. George Hurst, Wes Burns, Jack Taylor and Chuback pull them all out in their light blue vests from the subs bench down below us as the ball goes out far side for a throw to Ipswich. Furlong the right back to take it in front of the Graham Taylor stand. O'Shea to the halfway line. Back he gets the ball again. There would never have been a thought in Kieran McKenna's head to make a change in terms of O'Shea ahead of this game. I'm quite certain, well, a few fans were calling for it. It's never going to happen. Here he is, O'Shea, ball over the top looking for Athon, headed away by Fooney. Loses, too strong for Neil. Eggerly picks up the loose ball. It was Nunez, knocked over. Neil finds Clark. Out to this left-hand side, Greaves, just outside the Watford area. Back it goes to Clark. Square to Matusiwa, 30 yards from goal. Little ball to Neil. Those two, I guess, might become a fixture in midfield from now on. Here is Kipre. Ball to the edge of the area. Good control from Clark. Out to the left-hand side, Greaves. Patient stuff from Ipswich Town, working Watford. Kipre to Clark. Off the outside of his right boot, he finds Furlong. Far side is Nunez. One touch, gets it out from under his feet. Then a second, in comes a good-looking cross, headed down by Pollock. Could have landed at the feet of Athon, who's now frustrated. Instead, it was cleared away by Nampalys Mendy.
Yeah, I think we are really sort of quite a threat to Watford at the moment.
Town definitely the better side in this game. Can they get a goal? Nunez into Neil. Neil with a touch to Athon. Athon has a shot blocked. Still alive inside the Watford area, then cleared away by a Banquer. O'Shea nods it forward to Greaves. Greaves with the back header to Clark. Greaves then nods it down away from Clark and into touch and buries his head in his hands as he does so, Jacob Greaves. A Banquer on the chest from Petrie. Clark challenges Petrie successfully. Long ball forward from a Banquer. Headed by O'Shea to Matusiwa. Watford fans getting frustrated. The team's under pressure. Town on top. Clark to Greaves inside the area to the byline. In comes his cross. It's travelled a long way. It goes out of the box to Eggerly on his favoured left foot. Has a go at Selvik. It will be classed as a shot on target.
Yeah, as a pair, I think Greaves and Clark are going to destroy this Watford right-hand side, and purely and simply because I think the wrong players are trying to mark the wrong players.
Headed by O'Shea. Kiram goes down. The referee says play on. Good work from Neil. Then Nunez gives it to Clark. Back to Neil. Athon has a go but knocks that one over the bar. Surely Town are going to score in this game at some point.
Yeah, well, just outside the box there when that shot was being taken by Athon, we've got 5 blue-shirted players within sort of 30 yards of the Watford goal. That's really good, you know, so we seem to be able to get players forward into good areas just whenever we like, so I just feel that the numbers are going to take care of the result.
This looks to be an opportunity for Ipswich Town. I'm certainly not daft enough to write off Watford after 24 minutes, no way at all. They've got some talent down there, but purely based on this, as I say, 24 minutes, Town have been the better side, getting into some really good positions. Kipre is being wrestled by Aaron Kunda. Easy spot for the man with a flag near side, and his mate's blown his whistle. Free kick Ipswich. Ed Still just had a little word with a Banquer at the moment. Yeah, spot on what you were saying, Mick, in terms of Greaves and Clark near side against the two.
See, Petrus is right in there and he's just nowhere near Clark. Look,
O'Shea looking towards Clark. Clark in bags of space again wide left, as Mick just highlighted. One-on-one with a Banquer outside the Watford area. Skipped away from the pull back. That's going to be a yellow card and a free kick. They're having an absolute nightmare down this right-hand side, Watford. Yellow card for a Banquer.
I've seen the manager instructing that as well, so he's getting it woefully wrong. He's wanting Petrus to focus on Jacob Greaves. A Banquer, the right centre-back, seriously doesn't want to come out into this wide area to mark Jack Clark, so they're all over the place.
Yeah, the instruction will certainly be now get the ball out to Clark as much as you can. The Banquet now on a yellow card. It was a blatant one as well. It was an almighty stretch on Jack Clark's shirt. He seemed to be about 6 or 7 feet away from a Banquet, and a Banquet was still holding on to the back of his number 47. Nunez with a free kick for Ipswich Town down the left-hand side of the Watford area. Just a couple of yards, no more than that, away from the white line. Looking into the box off to our left-hand side, he's got Neal and Clark outside the area. If he wants to pull it back, the height of O'Shea, Kipre, Athon and Furlong all in there. Egley beyond the far post. Nunez with this free kick. It's headed up and over the top by a Watford defender for a fourth corner.
Yeah, I like the pace on that free kick. That was nice. You know, it meant if a blue-shirted player gets on the end of it, he only has to just get a touch on the ball. It's in the back of the net. If it hits the defender, he's got a problem because he's so close to his own goal, and he can only do what he's just done, and that's head the ball beyond the upright and over for a corner kick.
Jack Clark must be loving his evening here at Vicarage Road and excited by what the rest of the night might bring. 26 gone, 0-0. Nunez with another corner kick for Ipswich Town, their fourth inside this first half hour. Just has to reposition the ball slightly. 4 of his colleagues, the subs, are looking on as Nunez gets ready to take this corner, but he won't until the referee has a little word with, is it Kipre and Mendy? Quite a difference in size between the two of them. Mendy's head chest height on Kipre. Referee seems happy. Kipre right on the goal line. Furlong's in there as well. Nunez with a corner kick to the near post. Paul headed away. The referee, though, he's seen a foul in there. It's a free kick to Watford. I'm
going to get angry in a minute. That's another corner kick that hits the first man. The first man pretty much didn't even have to jump for that ball. You know, you've got to beat the first man to cause any problems.
You get as angry as you like, don't you worry about that. 27 and a half gone. We're still 0-0. Vicarage Road Town the better side, undoubtedly, but nothing to show for it. Shaq Fatadzi gives the ball away to Egley. Cleared by Funny, out as far as Matthew Siwa. And with the ball on halfway, we can go back to Graham.
Southampton 1, QPR 0. Wrexham ahead at home to Portsmouth 1-0.
Goodness me, here come Watford. Town gave the ball away, but they've got it back after Watford were equally generous. The ball's gone out off Ferinkunda on the far side. Both he and Shaq Fatadzi, the wide players, on the same wing momentarily. Town throw it right back. It is wide open, the division, isn't it, Mick, in terms of that race for 6th place with Watford, Derby, Bristol City, Southampton, Swansea, so many in it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, it really is. And I think it's going to be the amount of points for 6th place is going to be very low this year, because there's so many teams sort of vying for it, and those teams that are vying for it are pretty inconsistent, believe you me. So it's going to be low, could go to any one of about 7 teams.
Yeah, I think the team that beat Town at the weekend is one of the more consistent, albeit they've had a couple of home defeats of late. Wrexham, but over their last 10, 11, 12 games now, they've got a lot of W's in the column next to those results. Far side, and they're ahead tonight, unlike either side here at Vicarage Road. Still looking for the first goal. Town fans trying to create an atmosphere far side. Bowler up towards Kirumgo, back towards Bowler. Nice touch from the big man in the middle. Bowler with a low ball towards Kirumgo. Nice first touch, but then it went straight to Kipre. Not been involved much at all, the big Watford number 9, but he's done a couple of good things. Athon trying to get onto a loose ball. Across comes Funny, gives it straight to Clark. In comes a challenge from Banquet. Says he got the ball. The referee spotted it, and boy, did he need to on a yellow card. The referee was in a really good position as Mendy shows some of his experience. Goes down in front of Ivan Athon and wins a free kick to Watford to just ease a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I think they got the ball from the challenge, so that was all right, but I think they were so lackadaisical in defence in the initial build-up to the goal, the chance, you know, so I can see mistakes in this Watford team, I really can.
I know a lot of people would have taken a draw ahead of this one, based on what I've seen from Watford. We want more than that tonight. Here is a Banquet on a run, trying to give Jack Clark a taste of his own medicine. Clark stumbles, a Banquet has nowhere to go. Neal takes the ball off of him, and Banquet battles for it. He's given away a free kick. He's very frustrated, James Abankwah. He's got to watch himself. Imagine Easttown's little word. He's had a torrid first 30 minutes, Abankwah. And still just having a word with the fourth official, Farai Halam. Back towards O'Shea inside his half of the field. Now, Kipre on 3 goals for the season. Now the centre-half Kipre gets the ball back from his captain and slips it into midfield, and Clark, who one touch, goes back to Neil on halfway. Greaves is further forward down this left-hand side underneath us. Neil looking around. Greaves gives it back to Kipre. Out to the far side, Ipswich have it with Darnell Furlong. Of course, finally, it could be Neil's home debut on Saturday. Nice link-up play down the right-hand side. No, Egley doesn't get onto the return from Nunez. It's cleared out by Bowler.
No, I think we just got to play sensibly, not make any silly errors, and I think we can sort of have a large percentage of this game, that's for sure. We've just got to create some chances.
Town trying to win 3 games in a row on this ground for the first time ever, as Furlong gets ready to take this throw over on the far side. It's going to come into the Watford penalty box off to our left. It's goalless as he hurls the ball in a distance. It's bounced in front of the goalkeeper. Could have easily come back to a blue shirt. Instead it's Aaron Kunda, headed away by Watford. Mendy robs Egley, plays it forward to Aaron Kunda. He's going nowhere. Good challenge from Nunez. Back it goes to Matusiwa. Watford fans must be fearing that it's only a matter of time before they go behind. Here is Clark. Nunez is making a run. In goes Matusiwa, given away to Petrie. Now Petrie's got goal side from nowhere. Watford have got an almighty chance. Petrie inside the area with a poor finish, as O'Shea closed him down. But that was a sighted goal for Watford from absolutely nowhere.
A silly play down in front of us here in the attacking half. There was a simple pass on. We turned it down, dwelt on the ball. Watford seized on it, got possession of it, and then Petrie all of a sudden showed that he's got some pace. He left Cedric Kipre for dead, absolutely left him, and then it was really good covering play by his partner that sorted it all out. But mistake here. Great pace by Petrie there.
Here is O'Shea. Town playing out from the back to Matusiwa in midfield. Glides away from Shakvatadze. And another one. Great run this from Matusiwa. Exceptional. Out to right-hand side, Egley. Egley up against Bowler. Outside the Watford area now. The Norwegians inside the box, just towed away as far as Matusiwa. Infield to his partner Neil. Neil gives it away to Aaron Kunda. Watford can't get out though. They go back to the edge of the area, and Funny steps forward. Good play from the big defender. He's only 18. He's galloping forward now. Shakvatadze who's the ball. Funny's made an incredible run. He's now wide left, just outside the Ipswich area. Holds on to the ball. Good piece of mind. Goes to the byline. In comes his cross. Karungo with a header off target. That would have been some build-up and assist from Funny if that had found its way into the net. Yeah,
it was a good attack. It was a dangerous one, but they do lack numbers. They're playing on the break, so obviously with that being on the break, he only really had 2 colleagues that were anywhere near him that he could use. In the end, he couldn't find any of them, but we're building up much slower, more in charge of the ball, and when we get around the penalty area, we've got good numbers in attack.
Walton inside the penalty area off to our right-hand side. Still 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Kipre gets the ball from his keeper. There is Greaves. Greaves turns away from Petrie down this left-hand side, still holding him off. Gets up to halfway line. Petrie, can he win the ball off of Greaves? The two of them go down, almost having a game of twister down below us. Limbs entwined. It's a free kick to Watford in front of Ed Still and co. We've got 10.5 minutes to see a first half goal in this game. Loser gives it back to Abankwah. Now it's with Pollock. Ed Still will clearly be trying to sort stuff out down the Watford right-hand side at half-time. Abankwah up against his nemesis Clark. Infield to Loser. Loser shifts it on to Petrie, first time. Nice play from Clark to Athon. Neil with a reverse pass to Nunez outside the Watford penalty area. Neil back on the ball, through a couple of yellow shirts. Then Watford just en masse. Get the ball away, but not for long. There's a foul on Athon inside the D, who's down in quite a bit of pain. The referee's blown his whistle. It's a free kick to Ipswich.
Good position. I think this is right on the edge of the penalty area, dead centre. Very, very good for anybody that can drill it or even just curl it.
Town fans are already singing Marcelino Nunez's name. The referee has got the Watford wall behind the penalty spot off to our left-hand side. It's very central. It's no more than 19 yards from goal. It's in the D. And Watford have got a man down, Shakvatadze, lying behind the wall in case Nunez does go low.
What a great job that is, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. You're just lying there like a draft.
You've got to feel that you're the worst player when you get that job.
You never did that in your time? No. It is going to be Nunez, no big surprise. Got a couple of free kicks from further out at QPR earlier on this season. He's due another good one. Will tonight be the night? Back in the side as well, a former Norwich player. 0-0 at Vicarage Road. Free kick to Ipswich Town, 20 yards from goal in the D. Nunez gets it up against the wall, drops down Egley with a shot, and a fine goal! Sindrawalla Egley makes it 1-0 at Vicarage Road, and across the Town players go to celebrate in the far left corner. He caught it on the volley, it bounced into the ground and beat Selvig off to his right hand side. Watford 0, Ipswich Town 1.
Well, we deserve to take the lead. It's a rubbish free kick from our man again. You know, he's not been the best, Nunez, at taking free kicks since that day, his day at Queen's Park Rangers, but it comes off a defender, it goes to Nunez, and Nunez actually volleys the ball into the ground, and it steps up over the top, not over the top of the goalkeeper, but wide of the goalkeeper. It's a decent finish. It's positive. It's got, it's on target. It's got pace. It goes in the back of the net. Town deserved the lead, but again, it's not the best free kick in the world by Nunez.
No, I agree. His free kicks have been awful for the most part. Town fans love him, and as soon as a free kick comes along, they think he's going to put it in the top corner. They tend to be shocking, but that one's resulted in the first goal. Sindrawalla Egley goes to 3 for the season. That left-footed finish. Town have been the better side. I was just starting to wonder whether it might be one of those frustrating nights for them. Here is Selvig, left-footed out to this near side. Greaves with a header over halfway. Abankwah's going to go after it, so too Nunez. Abankwah hits it up in the air. Clark unchallenged, heads the ball down the line into touch. It's actually Tom Ince, one of the Watford subs, who's picked up the ball. So Town ahead on BBC Radio Suffolk with 7 minutes of this first half to go. Abankwah drawing the white ball in his yellow and red shirt. Plus we'll hear from Kieran McKenna post-match on Match Night on air till 10:30. Greaves has gone down holding his face. Kieran McKenna's furious. The free kick's gone the way of Watford. Athon's also down. I think it's maybe more, it seems to be more his teeth than his nose that Jacob Greaves is concerned about. Gets a little bit of love from Petrie as he picked him up. Watford free kick just in front of Ed Still's dugout. The side needs to be better in the second half. Loser. Forward it goes, volleyed by Greaves to the chest of Mendy. Well robbed by Nunez. Good play from him on that occasion. Athon trying to take on Abankwah, got his body in the way, and allowed Loser to nip in behind and get on the ball for Watford. Here is Fooney along the floor to Bowler. Back it goes to Fooney. Loser. He's an England youth international, Stefan Fooney. Forward from Abankwah to Irankunda. Lovely touch down the line to Petrie. Petrie first time into the Ipswich area. Diving towards the ball, feet first in the D was Furlong. Good interception. Neal to Clark. Clark has some ground in front of him. Couldn't control the ball as he kept an eye on Loser coming across to try to halt him. He didn't need to in the end. Clark had already lost it. Here is Loser.
Loser's obviously getting very frustrated. He's not in the game in decent areas, and so he's sort of dropping sort of so deep that you wouldn't worry about him having the ball where he's going. You know, he's a very good player, but he can't get into this game at all.
Fooney over on the far side, left-footed, he puts it forward for Kirumgo. Doesn't have a great deal to work with, to put it mildly. Loser controls it from Bowler, looking for Kirumgo. Up goes O'Shea against the far taller player he's marking. Watford on the halfway line. We've got exactly 5 minutes of this first half to go. Cinderella Eggley's goal separates these two sides. Got an important goal at Blackburn for Town earlier on this season. The late equaliser Eggley. He's giving his side the lead in this one, and now helping Furlong far side, who in the end Furlong goes back to Walton. First time clearance from the keeper. Atham with a header, nodded by Matusiwa, mistake from him to Irankunda. In goes Neil, getting his mate out of a hole. Shakvatadze with a header down to Loser. Watford trying to get an equaliser before half time. Good, well read there by Furlong as Loser tried to play it forward to Bowler in behind the right back, but Furlong reacted really sharply and cut out that move. Free kick then to Ipswich, which O'Shea rolls square to Kipre. Here's Greaves, the left back tonight. Clark in front of Kieran McKenna, gets it, gives it back to Greaves. Kipre to Walton. Walton thought about playing it to Matusiwa, but he was being closely attended by Kirumgo. O'Shea in between Irankunda and Kirumgo finds Kipre to halfway, to his left hand side. Greaves runs the ball out. Yes, he does.
Yeah, poor play by Jacob Greaves there. He sort of just forgot where he was, basically. He was so close to the touchline. He's trying to sort of, work the ball, and he goes over the touch. We've just got to, really stay sensible, not to get too carried away with ourselves. We've got the possession that we need in the game. And we've just got to make sure we build up nice and slowly, nice and clever, steadily. Don't try and be too clever, and I think there will be more goals in this game.
Greaves with a throw-in underneath us for Ipswich Town. We're into the final 3 minutes of this first period. Mendy challenged by Neil. Well done, Dan Neil. Clark tripped by Loser blatantly. Free kick to Ipswich, wide left outside the Watford penalty area. Maybe Town can get a 2-0 lead before half-time.
Yeah, that was an unnecessary giveaway of a free kick in a really good position, because I think that Jack Clark was about to lose the ball when he was brought down, so this could be a very expensive free kick for Watford.
Yeah, he's just showing his frustration, I think, Loser. We highlighted a moment or so ago that he's not been in this game as much as he would have wished. Nunez, O'Shea and the goal scorer Eggley in a conversation. It's going to be Nunez to take this free kick. Wide left outside the Watford penalty area. It's going to be an easy two-man wall to bypass. They're kind of blocking off the near post area. Irankunda and Shakvatadze. Nunez on this free kick for Ipswich Town, trying to go 2-0 up. Great ball in, and it's headed wide by Greaves. Looked almost certain to be into the back of the net. It was O'Shea actually who made contact. I was convinced that was going to end up a goal, but I think it wouldn't have counted anyway. Flag's gone up.
Well, it must have been offside, because it was a great run. He got really free, and I was absolutely staggered that the ball didn't end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Final 90 seconds of the first half. Watford 1-0 down with a Banquer. Can hit it long to Kirumgo. Up goes O'Shea. Little header down. Up against a very tall player in Kiefer Moore the other day. He's up against another one, Kirumgo. Kipre's touch inadvertently almost ran into the path of Shakvatadze, but Furlong was very alert. Good play from him, keeping an eye on his man. Pollock goes back towards Selvik inside his penalty area. Out to the left side, and Funi to Loser. Loser just gets there ahead of Eggley. Ball in field to Shakvatadze. Here come Watford. Ball trying to find Irankunda. Poor. That was a chance for Watford. They had players in good areas coming forward. Fair number of them as well. Eggley to Nunez. Nunez with a switch to Clark. The ball will reach Jack Clark. Watford all of a sudden on the back foot. Clark towards Nunez. In flies Funi and wins the ball. Watford get it away to Shakvatadze. Shakvatadze away from Irankunda. Foul by Kipre on the Australian. Free kick in the middle of the field to Watford.
No, I disagree with that.
I did as well.
I think the player has just ran into Kipre, and Kipre's just said, look, I'm a strong guy, I'm not moving. If you want to bounce off me, you can.
Yeah, I was going to say Watford fans asking for a yellow card. I didn't even think it was a free kick, but Watford have got one. Bang in the centre as we enter the 2 minutes of added on time at the end of this first half. The better side, Ipswich Town, lead 1-0. Sindra Walla-Egli with the finish after a free kick from Nunez. 2 balls on the field at the moment. Pollock towards Abankwah. Abankwah goes long, trying to put it in behind for Irankunda. Cross comes Kipre, flags up against Watford. Offside as Kipre goes belting towards the Town supporters. Good travelling support for Ipswich Town. One of the shorter trips, of course, of the season. As Walton gets ready to take this free kick. Town a minute away from a first half lead at Vicarage Road. Not in a rush, obviously. Interesting to see what Ed Still does with his team at half time and how they try to stem the flow down their right hand side against Clark and Greaves. Here goes Walton. Ball back in play as it flies forward underneath us. Up goes Greaves against Abankwah. Loser left-footed forward, but only to O'Shea. He's going to get it back to Walton under not too great a pressure from Kirungo. Walton with a switch back to O'Shea. And he drags it out from the final third. Gives it to Kipre in front of Kieran McKenna. Now Clark on this near side for Ipswich. Greaves has run in field, created a bit of space for Clark, who's instead gone back to Kipre. That's pretty much it according to my watch for this first half. Clark saw Matthew Siwa, and there is the half-time whistle. Sindra Walla-Egli of Ipswich Town with the only goal of the first half. Mick Mills.
Yeah, I think this has been a comfortable game. It really has. I think we started well. We started with a little bit of positivity first of all. Very, very sort of comfortable. We were comfortable within ourselves and we showed a lot of confidence. Got control of the game and almost immediately the possession stats were up in the 60s for us and down in the sort of 30s for Watford, and it remained that way. And when you looked at Watford all around the pitch, you know, there was nobody that really you were saying to yourself, I like him, I like him, I like him, we've got to be careful of that and that. There was nothing about Watford whatsoever. We could totally in control of the game, and all the stats, you know, right through the half were in our favour, whether it was possession, corner kicks, shots at goal. You know, you name the stat, we were in front of them, and even like touches inside the opponent's box, which I always think indicates a team that is on top. We've been double Watford all the way through at the moment. Now they've gone into the dressing room we've had 12 touches inside their penalty area. They've had 6 inside ours. So that just shows you how much we have been better at attacking Watford than what they've been at attacking ourselves. Loser has been really sort of out of the game. He's got frustrated. He's gone from the centre of midfield to playing in the back three. No good player needs to be back that far. He's got frustrated. I always felt down the right-hand side, Petris, the right wing-back, and Abankwah, the right centre-back, have got it woefully wrong. Petris immediately wants to set his sights on Greaves. Too early, too far up the pitch, and Abankwah does not want to come out from the centre to deal with Jack Clark on the touchline, and consequently Jack Clark's in a big hole, big area of space, and able to receive the ball as and when he wants to. So we are in charge of this. There's really, most players are playing okay. Nobody's really looking vulnerable. We've just got to, you know, enjoy the half-time, take on board what the manager might have seen and wants us to improve in. But generally speaking, it is repeat what you've done in the second half, you know, from what you've done in the first half, you know, and we'll be on our way, I'm absolutely sure. I think we're well capable, not just in taking control of the game, but actually creating chances. And if we create enough chances, I'm absolutely sure we can add to the scoreline. At the moment, I would put a lot of money on Town and absolutely zero on Watford.
Yeah, a poor
Don't
team has
say
come
that.
along at just the right time as far as Ipswich Town are concerned. Well, it does concern me a little bit. It's interesting that one of Ed Still's coaches went straight to Tom Ince at half-time, so maybe a change immediately when play resumes here for the home side, who trail Ipswich Town by 1-0.
Your thoughts on that first half? Most welcome. 81333 if you want to drop us a text. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with SFK. Lots of goals tonight in the Championship. Middlesbrough have just levelled against Leicester, so it's 1-1 at the Riverside. Caleb Okoli opening the scoring for the Foxes on 18 minutes. Riley McGree in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Fifth in the table, Hull are 2-2 with Derby. One of the Derby goal scorers tonight, Sam Schmodix on loan from Ipswich Town, of course. Wrexham are 2 up now at home to Portsmouth. Sam Smith and Max Cleworth with the goals. It's Swansea 0, Preston 1. Daniel Jebberson at Southampton all of a sudden 8th in the live Championship table. They lead QPR 1-0 in the 8 o'clock kickoff. A few goals at Ewood Park. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2, the half-time score. Bristol coming from a goal down to lead in that one. West Brom have just gone in front at home to Charlton through George Campbell. It's 1-0 at the Hawthorns. In the Champions League tonight, Newcastle United 2-0 up at home to Karabag in the second leg of their knockout round playoff. So they're 8-1 up on aggregate. The Magpies goals tonight so far from Sandro Tonali and Joe Linton. Around the grounds locally, AFC Sudbury's match at Kettering called off earlier in the Southern Premier League Central Division. There's a couple of note in the Isthmian North tonight. Malden Tiptree are goalless with Stanway Rovers. Malden have missed a penalty in that one. That scoreline of interest to Felixstowe Walton United supporters. If Malden win tonight, they'll go top of the table above Felixstowe Walton on goal difference, and they'll also have a game in hand, but currently goalless. And the West Suffolk derby at Mildenhall Town, it's Newmarket Town who have the lead in that one by 2-1. OK, during our half-time report, we will talk cricket. England through to the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup. We'll talk Winter Olympics as well, with many of Team GB's athletes now back home after their most successful performance at a Winter Olympics.
Nothing beats the feeling of falling in love. You feel like the luckiest person ever.
He said, I'm looking for a wife.
Until you find out it was all a lie.
Something just wasn't right.
Join me, Vicky Patterson, as we find out how one man's fake love may have ruined hundreds of real lives.
He's got no morals.
The impact of his crimes is just so enormous.
Love bombed wife hunter.
This man needs to be stopped.
Listen first on BBC Sounds.
You're with Match Day on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are here till 10:30 on our main feature. It's half-time at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Ipswich Town 1. Sindre Vala Eggerly back in Kieran McKenna's starting lineup and on the score sheet tonight. England's cricketers are the first team through to the T20 World Cup semi-finals.
Salman Mirza comes in around the wicket to Archer, moves across his stumps, pulls it out towards deep mid-wicket. It's running away towards the boundary. It will get there. Jofra Archer has struck the boundary that has taken England into the semi-finals of the Men's T20 World Cup. It has not been without some tension and some drama. England win the game by 2 wickets.
Yeah, Jofra Archer with the winning runs, and it was captain Harry Brook who led with a century as England chased down 165. Let's hear from Brook. He's now scored centuries for England in all formats of the game.
Yeah, very happy with the way we played there, and it's just nice to get through to the semis now. And we got one more game against New Zealand, and we focus on that, but then the bigger prize at the other side.
You're in a class of your own today, batted absolutely beautifully. That promotion to number 3, though, talk us through the mindset with that in the team.
That was Baz. It was all Baz. It was, he came to me this morning and just said, look, we might change you up and put you up at 3 today. And we've spoken about adapting and changing all sorts throughout this competition, and just having the bravery to do that today was awesome.
Seem to unlock a new level in your game personally as well. Is that something that you enjoy?
Well, getting better.
Number 3.
I haven't done it much, but no, it's nice to get out there and face as many balls as possible.
They gave you a little bit of a scare towards the end as well. What did you make of the Pakistan outfit today?
Yeah, they're good. They're always good. There's some of the world-class players in there. They have been for many years, and like I said, it's just nice to get over the line.
Such a wonderful all-round performance for everyone. Some great batting with you and Will Jacks at the back end as well. Confidence seems to be building in the English side, as you said, getting better and better and a more cohesive unit every time. Do you feel like you're in the right place now heading into the semis?
Yeah, there's obviously areas that we still want to improve on, and you can never quite get perfection, but we're always striving for it. So, like I said, we'll look towards the New Zealand game now, and our mind is completely on that.
A World Cup 100 as well. What a special moment. Any emotions going through your head, or you just focused on getting the job done?
I was just happy that we got the job done, to be honest. We were in a tricky situation at the start, and then a couple of partnerships there was nice, and like I said, just nice to get over the line.
So Captain Harry Brook with a century as England's cricketers made it through to the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup earlier today. The schedule for the Women's T20 World Cup in England this summer has been announced today as well. The tournament opener will see England face Sri Lanka at Edgbaston on Friday the 12th of June. Many of Team GB's athletes are now back home after their most successful performance at a Winter Olympics. Great Britain equalled the record of 5 medals, which were run in 2014 and 2018. But for the first time, they achieved more than one gold, finishing with 3 in Milan Cortina. Our reporter Delith Lloyd has been speaking to Britain's chef de mission Eve Muirhead and Director of Performance at UK Sports Kate Baker, and she started by asking Eve what she made of the team's performance.
I'm incredibly proud of every single athlete, every single performance, and they really have done us and Great Britain proud. You look at the results, we've had a lot of top 10 finishes, 5 medals as well. So it's been a games that has made history. The 3 gold medals have definitely put us a little further up in the medal table to what we have been in previous games. But that's thanks to the athletes. They really have been incredible. They've been history makers, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work alongside them.
And how satisfied then are you on the whole, bearing in mind the projected tally for GB was between 4 and 8 medals?
Yeah, I'm delighted. I really am. I think we're a nation that's definitely kind of punching above our weight in terms of winter sport. And I do think we're also a rising nation in winter sport as well. And I think if you look with the French Alps coming in 4 years' time, we've got back-to-back European locations. And the only great thing for us there is we can only get better, can't we?
Let's hope so. Yes, Kate, I'm sure you'll agree with that. I mean, the fact there were 5 fourth-placed finishes, though, clearly shows, doesn't it, that the margins are so fine in sport. How do we begin, though, to try and turn those fourths into medals and even gold?
Yeah, it's a great point. 4th places mean 2 things, don't they? They mean that some people have had a near miss, but it also shows that we've got some real strength in depth coming through. So beyond those 4th places, we also had 24 of our athletes of a cohort of just over 50 who finished in the top 10. That tells us that we are in a really, really strong position. Of course, every single athlete in every single sport will work through a detailed review process over the coming weeks, probably after we've been to the Paralympics, to ensure that we've left no stone unturned and to make sure that we're all at our very best to be able to perform on the day when it matters in the French Alps.
2 goals in the skeleton. Traditionally, it's always been good, hasn't it? A good event for the Brits, I should say. Will more money, Kate, be pumped into that? I mean, how will it be decided which sports benefit more for funding in the next Olympic cycle?
So we've been working with the sports for the last 12 to 18 months around the investment and what it's likely to look like for the French Alps. And that's really important for us that we get on the front foot. It won't surprise you to hear that when you come to an Olympic Games, it's often one of the biggest recruitment fairs in town. So it's important that we secure our coaching talent and our leadership, because those people really do make the difference. So most of our sports will already know broadly where they're likely to sit going into the next cycle. But of course, we've seen some fantastic performances. And so in the coming weeks, we'll sit down and we'll have a pretty detailed conversation with every sport, work through what the data is showing us, ask some of those difficult questions, but of course, celebrate as well. And then we'll look to make some investment decisions towards the back end of the spring.
Eve, you'll know more than anyone about your misses, eventually winning gold yourself in the curling in Beijing in 2022. Looking at the ages of a lot of these great British athletes as well, how positive is it that some are still so young?
Oh, it is. It's incredibly positive. And to see them coming through, and games like this inspire the next generation. That's what we want to do here in Great Britain. If we can get more young kids involved in sport, if the athletes on TV inspire them just in a small way, I think for us for me definitely that's a win. I think sport helps you not just mentally, physically, and it's got so many benefits. And I have heard there's been numerous sign-ups to come and try events from skeleton, talent ID programme to curling, to skating. So that's incredibly positive, and let's just hope we can keep that going.
Eve Muirhead, Britain's chef de mission and director of performance at UK Sport, Kate Baker, speaking with Delith Lloyd as Team GB's athletes make their way back home after their most successful performance at a Winter Olympics. It's going well for Ipswich Town so far tonight. The second half is next.
Given away by Watford. Ipswich Town on the front foot. They've started this game very well. Oh, Nunez slipped on the far side. He still got up but then lost the ball to Funi. Did that twice at the weekend. Nunez maybe wants to consider different footwork. Good ball from Neil to Furlong with ground to run into over the halfway line. The former West Brom player gives it to Egley outside the Watford area. This would be a good goal. Overlapping Furlong. Furlong tries the full back for Matu Siwa to come off the defender's trailing leg and out for a corner kick. Nice by Town. Headed by O'Shea. Kieran goes down. The referee says play on. Good work from Neil. Then Nunez gives it to Clark. Back to Neil. Athon has a go but knocks that one over the bar. Surely Town are going to score in this game at some point. In goes Matu Siwa, given away to Petrie. Now Petrie's got goal side from nowhere. Watford have got an almighty chance. Petrie inside the area with a poor finish as O'Shea closed him down, but that was a sighted goal for Watford from absolutely nowhere. Free kick to Ipswich Town, 20 yards from goal in the D. Nunez gets it up against the wall, drops down Egley with a shot and a fine goal. Sindra Walla-Egley makes it 1-0 at Vicarage Road, and across the Town players go to celebrate in the far left corner. He caught it on the volley, bounced into the ground and beat Selvig off to his right hand side. Watford 0, Ipswich Town 1.
Because of you, life is beautiful. Because of you, Suffolk is a better place.
It's so moving.
You go the extra mile. You change lives.
We can all really make a difference.
You and people just like you are the spark that makes a difference.
To nominate a local hero for a Make a Difference award, go to bbc.co.uk/make a difference, where you'll find a list of categories, full terms and our privacy notice. Nominations close on the 31st of March at 5 p.m.
Make a difference. We can make a difference. BBC Radio Suffolk.
OK, Hull City drawing, Middlesbrough drawing as things stand, Wrexham, Southampton and, of most importance, Ipswich Town all ahead. Let's get back to Vicarage Road ahead of the second half on BBC Radio Suffolk and rejoin Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley. Watford 0, Town 1.
Couple of changes for Watford. Bove and Ngakia have come on for Petrie and Shakvatadze. Looks like it's still the same system for Watford, though. Ipswich Town, as they were at the start of this game, they lead 1-0. Walton off to our left, to back four. Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Greaves. Matu Siwa's alongside Neil. The goal scorer, Egley, Nunez and Clark. Athon up top. Palmer, Johnson, Taylor, Kiyuste, Mehmeti, McAteer, Burns, Akpom and Hurst. Selvig is in the goal off to our right. The back three for Watford, a Banquet on a yellow, Pollock and Funi. Now Ngakia down the right hand side for Petrie, Loser, Mendy, Bowler, and then a front three, Aaron Kunda, Kirumgo and now Bove. Although we're going to see where Bove is going to play. Has gone across that left hand side. I'll give you the Watford bench when we get a break and play. Nunez towards Athon. Lovely take from Athon. Difficult ball to deal with. The Spaniard's done wonderfully well. Let's go back to Greaves. He had to do something at half-time, Ed, still. Ipswich Town in charge of that first half as Town play it around at the back. Here is O'Shea. Little ball to Matu Siwa. He finds Neil. Neil gives it away. Bowler towards Bove, the Italian. Bove's little ball in field, cleared away out as far as Athon, taken beautifully by Athon. Lovely spin and control. Here's Egley. He's robbed by Funi, who we'll get a good view of in this second half. The tall lad Funi. There is Mendy. It'll be really interesting to see how this second half develops between these two sides. What kind of reaction there is from Watford, who need to do an awful lot better than they did in the first half. Here is a Banquet, given a torrid time in that first period. Greaves with an important header. Matu Siwa beats Loser to the ball. Ipswich give it away though. Second half yet to settle. Forward down the right hand side from Ngakia. Kirungo up against Kipre for once. So Shea kept an eye on the Dane for most part of that first period. Irankunda with a header to O'Shea. O'Shea clears it to Loser. A little bit more purpose about Watford at the moment. Nice play from Loser to go away from Nunez, but then overhits his pass to Ngakia to throw to Town behind left back.
Yeah, you just feel that the managers tried to tell them to step it up, try and play a bit more, more quickly, and that's what they're doing at the moment. And they've just momentarily got a bit of control about the second half, but we've really haven't had the ball yet, so we haven't sort of shown what we can do.
Headed forward now by a Banquet. Greaves has the ball over on the far side. Kipre in the left back area for Ipswich Town. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Gets a good ball to Nunez, who flicks it on with his heel. Belted up into the clouds by Pollock. Greaves just nudges Karungo out of the way. Town still have the ball with Clark. Greaves slides. He's caught late. The referee says free kick for the foul by Loser on Greaves. Afterwards, have your say on 0800 141 2121. That's the phone number to have a chat to Graham and Mick, or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. If you prefer to WhatsApp, they're to 08000 321 333. And again, pop SFK at the start of those match nights on air from 10:30. So start the build-up to Swansea at home on Saturday, which will have full match commentary with the matchday preview on Friday night between 6 and 7. Town legend John Walk's thoughts on Wrexham. That'll be worth a listen. And Watford. Here is Walton, left-footed over halfway towards Greaves, who'd gone in advance of Clark. Mendy nods the ball down. He cost Leicester £13 million back in the day. Mendy, the central midfielder. Ball over the top from Neil is a good one. Athon leaves it to Clark. Athon's gone into the centre. Clark has it wide left, edge of the Watford area. Now inside the Watford area, into the middle it comes from him. Egley tried to control a difficult ball. Gave it back to O'Shea, the captain, to Egley. Wide right in front of the Town fans off to a right-hand side, up against Bowler. Gives it back to O'Shea. First time cross from the captain, headed away by a Banquet. Clark brings it down for Neil. Neil slots a pass forward to Greaves. He's robbed by Ngakia. Now Watford have it with Mendy, an African Cup of Nations winner in the past. Nepalese Mendy. Bowler to Funny. Can open those long legs of his. He gets up to the halfway line but stops 10 yards shy of it. Loser with the ponytail next to him. Funny once more to Loser, through a little gap to Mendy. Watford have it again. They've worked it nicely. Still just on halfway. Funny trying to get it through two players. The ball hit the hand of Egley. The referee says play on. Bowler on the left-hand side. In comes his cross. Too tall even for Kirumgo. And it is Greaves who carries it to the left-back area before checking. Giving it to Kipre in the 5th minute of the second half. Matthew Sewell back to Walton. Closed down by Loser. He fires it up towards Athon. Come on, Watford is the chant from the home crowd. Bove with a nice little touch back to the halfway line. Bove, an Italian, just arrived last month on a 5.5-year deal. Eduardo Bove. It's got an interesting backstory. That's almost 100 appearances for Roma and Serie A, given his full debut by Jose Mourinho. Ball into the box from Loser. Greaves heads it back towards Walton. It was fine in the end. Looked a little bit worrying at one stage, but serious worries about his future at one stage. Bovic's had a cardiac arrest while playing for Roma against Inter Milan, now trying to rebuild his career. Nunez with a crossfield ball. Clark's going to go after it. He keeps it in far side. Ipswich Town attacking the goal to our right, tries to go along the dead ball line with it. The bank was in charge of the situation now. Clark still challenging him and fouling him in the end. Kieran McKenna disbelieving, flings his hands either side down below us.
Yeah, I thought that was good play by Jacob Greaves. He got it just slightly wrong, maybe the direction, but it was comfortable play, it's good play. And then we did well to get that crossfield ball to Jack Clark, and he just got a little bit carried away with it. He could have just taken his time a little bit more, maybe just wait for the troops to get around him and not take the defender on too early.
Selvik from outside his penalty area. Many players in this squad with a connection to Udinese, arrived from Italy around about 13 months ago now. Abanqua slices the ball in field to Nunez. Nunez controls it, trying to get away from Loser. Too many Watford players around Nunez in the end. And it's with Ngakia. He goes long over the top to Kirumgo. Can't bring it down. And it's back with Walton.
Yeah, good play, Dara O'Shea. Cedric Kipre was in a little bit of a problem spot there. The ball was just dropping over the top of him. He could have lost possession to the Watford forward, but O'Shea came across and tied it up nicely.
Here is O'Shea. Lovely to see Ipswich Town get a clean sheet tonight off the back of conceding 5 at the weekend. First time Town have conceded 5 in a league game under Kieran McKenna outside the Premier League at the weekend. Here comes Clark running at the Watford backline. He's run a long way. He's given it to Neil. Neil with a chance in his full debut. Not quite. Funny made an important interception.
Was it? That was a terrific move as well.
Yeah. Finney hadn't done that. Neil was in on goal. It would have been 2-0. Would have been a very straightforward finish for the lone player. Kipre around the corner, intercepted by Abankwah. A little touch back to Abankwah. Aaron Kunda. Abankwah goes flying under a challenge from Greaves. A bit more even this game now. Ed's still very animated down below us. He's been at 4 Belgian clubs in the past. Now he's just over 80 professional games. 35-year-old. Actually the older brother of former Southampton manager Will, who was linked with this position. Will, it's also very strange when his brother randomly got the job in the end. Greaves heads the ball out under pressure from Ngakia. Ngakia, who was one of the players withdrawn from the side that beat Derby at the weekend ahead of kick-off. He's still reversing that decision at half-time. Ngakia throws the ball to Kirumgo. Here is Loser, thinking a ball down the line. Beautiful from Loser. Ngakia by the byline, edge of the Ipswich area, now inside the box, gives it back to Aaron Kunda. Tried to be clever, miscontrolled it. Then he's lost the ball to Clark. He's pulled it down for a kick. Aaron Kunda trying to be far too fancy and clever, and made a right old mess of that in a decent position.
Yeah, very much so. Another half-decent attack by Watford. They're a little bit brighter this half. The manager was obviously very worried. He made the 2 changes at half-time, and he's obviously told them to step up the pace a little bit. And at the moment they've done all right in this half, but we've just got to just stay calm and not let it affect us.
Yeah, Watford have been better. Funny, long run forward, finds Bove on the left-hand side. Bowler in for a clever ball. Bove inside the Ipswich Town area, tries to flick it in off the outside of his right boot towards Aaron Kunda. We're a better side so far in this second half. Watford. Here is Pollock. Town still lead 1-0. Sindrawalla Egley, the only goal in that first half. Here is Funny. First taste of senior football, the 18-year-old. Here he is once again. Must have got so many talented youngsters in there. Her academy, Manchester City. Actually, Watford had Max Lane on loan when they were at Portman Road earlier on this season, but he was recalled. He was playing games for the first team at Manchester City recently because of an injury shortage. So they gave Watford Funny instead as some kind of compensation. Walton, again, with a disguised reverse ball, finding O'Shea when Kirumgo thought he was going to go long. Walton on his penalty spot, floats the ball up towards Athon. Athon's header is straight to Bove. Bove back to Funny. There's Bove once again. Pollock. Watford have it in their back 3. Abankwah to the far side, and Ngakia forward to Aaron Kunda. He's controlled a really difficult ball to deal with. Cedric Kipre brings him down. 3, 4, 5 rolls from Aaron Kunda, and a yellow card for Cedric Kipre, his 6th of the season.
Yeah, I was surprised that he got himself in trouble there. When that ball was played up, I thought Kipre's got control of that, and all of a sudden he's allowed the Watford player just to get a toe poke on the ball, and then of course his challenge now is hitting the player and not the ball. So I think it's a fair yellow card. It's given Watford a free kick in a very good position.
Teller sending out a few of the substitutes, Wes Burns and Anas Mehmeti amongst them. Before we see either of those, or indeed Casey McAteer, who's out as well now. Tanner got to see off this set piece. Watford free kick in the left back area outside the Ipswich Town penalty box. 56.5 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Town lead 1-0. Got a bit of height in there, Watford. Kirumgo's the tallest player on the field. All 6'4" of them. The centre-halves are in there as well. Mendy is available for the pull-back. Finally, this free kick can be taken from Loser, and it comes low. Poor, dealt with by Greaves. What a waste that was from the Moroccan.
Yeah, it looked a really sort of worrying scene that they had 6 players sort of just on the outside of our 6-yard box. It looked really threatening, but it was a poor ball.
Loser was definitely better than that. Gives it back to Mendy, lying deeper than any outfield player in the centre circle. Ngakia knocks a long distance ball into the area towards Krong. Lovely touch! And the effort from Abankwah wasn't as good as the touch. It was a sensational the way that he brought the ball down initially, but scuffed his effort. It was easy for Walton, and town of a man down injured after all of that.
Yeah, that ball sort of found him in a good position. In actual fact, when he struck the shot, it was Christian Walton actually had gone early, and he was down waiting almost for the shot to come in, and made a comfortable save in the end, but it was a half chance. We've just got to sort of just take control of the game a little bit more than we are at the moment. We've allowed Watford to come out and step the pace of the game up.
Another change for Watford. Off goes Kirumgo, and he's going to be replaced by Mamadou Doumbia. Off comes Doumbia. The remainder of this game. Actually flagged for offside of Banquet. Wouldn't have counted had he put it beyond Walton. Free kick is about to be taken by Walton. Town still lead 1-0, 2 minutes shy of the hour mark, so it's a lot of football to be played. Watford better in the second half without being world beaters. Banquet back to Selvik, left-footed from the goalkeeper. Beauvais wins the header before Furlong. Now it goes for a throw to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, it's a good test for one or two players out there to show that when you're not in charge of a game, you can get yourself on the ball and you can start slowing the game down and just taking control of it.
Walton, good pass to Furlong near side. Beauvais stretches and wins the ball off the right back. Good from him. Mendy gets the better of Nunez, plays it up towards Erankunda. Poor from him. Greaves should win the header and does. Clark trying to get away from Mendy. Pills for handball, and the referee's having it. Free kick against Clark for hands.
Yeah, he's definitely handballed it.
Mendy finds Funny. Forward to Beauvais. Watford nowhere near as bad as they were in that first half. They were very average at best. Kieran McKenna and Martin Pert having a chat, I guess, about potentially changing things up at some stage for Town. Pollock to Abankwah, still on that yellow card. Gets the ball back off of Loser. Now Abankwah goes back to Selvik. There's Abankwah, who came from Irish football and signed for Watford. Kipre, good ball to Nunez, outside of the area, has an effort, wide off his right boot. Hit it fairly early on from 20 yards, the Chilean, just off target.
He's got to do better for me. I mean, that's a super ball to him. It was actually a great collection by him, but when he started to go towards the box, the defender in front of him actually tried to read a pass that he might have played and actually opened up the chance for him, and he was pretty much from where he was, the next person in front of him was actually the Watford goalkeeper. So when you get a position like that, you must hit the target.
Bowler up towards Doumbia, former Young Player of the Year, the Malian international. Player of a lot of potential, Doumbia. They've got high hopes that he might be the next player to go on for big bucks. Had a few of those down the years. Here is Funny. Doesn't want to go forward. He's complaining about some of the players in front. I like what I've seen from Funny for a young player. Down the line again, it's a good ball from Funny, finding Doumbia. That's the ball he wanted to play a few moments ago. Watford fans stand up off to our left-hand side. They're trailing 1-0 to Ipswich Town as Doumbia plays the ball back to Loser. Around the corner, he gives it to Funny. Funny down the line to Doumbia, the number 20. Left-footed low ball, dealt with easily by O'Shea. Might have given it to Beauvais. Beauvais's beaten Matusiwa to it and then gone down in the area. Referee got a good view. Never in a month of Sundays a penalty. Egley gets a touch. Out of play it goes for a throw to Watford.
Yeah, we're not really sort of playing with any sort of composure at the moment. We've got to get through this period. We really have.
Well, they didn't manage the second half well at all on Saturday. They're trying to do a bit better and learn from those errors. That's what Kieran McKenna talked about ahead of this game. Funny gives it to Bove. On the left-hand side, Bowler. Players in the centre. Watford reluctant to get into the box. It comes off of an Ipswich Town player for a corner kick. Oh, that was poor from O'Shea and Walton. It clearly came off Matusiwa last, and the pair of them just let it go out behind. That's a corner, and quite rightly so.
Absolutely terrible. I think they were the only two in the stadium that thought it was a Ipswich Town ball.
Very poor from Walton and O'Shea. Let's hope Watford don't make them pay. It's loser on this corner kick, which should never have been a corner kick. Fingers crossed Ipswich Town can deal with this and spare the blushes of the captain and goalkeeper. And it comes good hands from Walton. That'll do us nicely. Town still hold this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a good take. Now we've really sort of got to get back into this game and take some sort of control of it. And this is the hard part of football, to really sort of get yourself on the ball consistently when things are not really going your way, when the opposition are maybe in charge of the game. You've got to take charge again. You've got to be confident. You've got to get on the ball. You've got to slow the game down.
Kiyuste and Burns coming on. Nunez trying to get in behind Funi. He's got the better of Funi, Nunez. Funi's bitten back though and won the ball well. Loser into his area, and Pollock left-footed clears down the line. Bove nudged off of it by Furlong. Loser for Watford, good work. Now Aaron Kunda wide on the left-hand side, gets to the ball ahead of Kipre. Aaron Kunda, the little number 66 inside the Ipswich area, right of centre. Back it goes to Bowler. Numerous blue shirts back for Ipswich Town, outnumbering the red and yellows. Still for Watford, Aaron Kunda turns, shoots, blocked away as far as a Banquet. Heavy touch from him, but then he toe pokes it to the right. And Ngakia, Watford outside the Ipswich area, looking for an equaliser. Then comes across towards the far post. Furlong heads it away. As far as a Banquet, good effort from him. Blocked by O'Shea. Loser hits it out as far as Greaves to clear it. Good work from Town, but that's livened up the Watford supporters as Funi heads it back to Selvik.
Yeah, we're just allowing them to dictate the game. I want to see the personalities in our team to step out of this position we're in at the moment and take back control of the game.
26 minutes to go. A Banquet finds Aaron Kunda in a bit of space. Caught from behind by Neil. Fair challenge, says the referee. He was in a good spot again. Some well Mr. Toner there. Still Kiyuste and Burns wait. One would imagine for Eggerly and Neil. Cleared by Walton to the centre spot. Up goes Funi, getting there ahead of Athon. Neil takes the ball on his chest. In goes Bowler. Bove beaten to the ball by Matusiwa. Furlong of Ipswich Town. Eggerly's hardly had a touch in this second half.
Yeah, I was just looking at him, Brenner, and thinking that this is where he shows his age, really, that he's completely bemused by what's going on around him.
Matusiwa's done very well to beat Loser. Loser's held him up quite literally. The referee's got to have spotted that. I can see it from here. Free kick to Town, who can now make that double change. Burns for Eggerly is the first one. Eggerly turns and applauds the travelling support. And as we suspected, Neil coming off to be replaced by Kiyuste.
Yeah, I think we needed the changes.
Yeah, we did.
We need some people who are really good and comfortable at getting onto the ball. It takes a strong personality to command the ball in a situation that we found ourselves in the second half.
Dan Neil going along the away dugout, passing palms down below us after a hug from his manager. Had faded in the game. Good choices from the Town bench by the looks of things. Nunez on this long-range free kick. A lot closer to the halfway line than the edge of the Watford penalty area, off to our right. Town 1-0 ahead, approaching the final quarter of this match. Nunez puts it into the area. Greaves heads it centrally into the hands of Selvik. Up above the head of Athon. Quick kick from Selvik, trying to get Aaron Kunda away. He shoves Kiyuste to the deck. Can you stay on the floor before he's touched the ball? And it's a free kick, therefore, to Ipswich Town. Again, those numbers 0800 141 2121 or text 81333. Start those messages. SFK WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, start those SFK. Back to Graham.
Portsmouth back in it at Wrexham. They trail 2-1. Southampton 3, QPR 0.
Burns to Nunez. Back towards Burns. Attempted 1-2, but Bowler in a sprint with Burns was shoulder to shoulder, and he's just tucked the ball out of play.
Yeah, well, Wes Burns is the type that I think nothing of sort of taking on the left wing back and just driving the whole team up the pitch where we need to be.
Ed still signalling to his players as they defend this throw from Furlong. Furlong in front of the Ipswich supporters off to our right. We'd love to see the ball in the net off to our right for a 2-0 lead, and it comes towards Greaves, headed away by Watford defender, cleared by Bowler, out as far as Matthew Siwa, who gives it back to Walton, all alone in the area and the half off to our left. Walton goes long, Bowler can bring the ball down on his left instep under no pressure and play it down the line towards Doumbia. In goes Furlong to find Matthew Siwa. Matthew Siwa loses the ball to Bove. Loser moves it forward to Doumbia. Kiyuste challenges Doumbia. Good strong work from the striker. Now Loser's on the ball. He stands on it, surrounded by 3 Town players. Burns comes away with it. Off Loser it goes. Out for a throw.
Yeah, well done, Wes Burns. Now just sort of we've got ourselves a throw in. We can now think about slowing the game down again. That's what we've got to do. Just frustrate the opposition.
22 minutes to go. Town back in action on Saturday. Match there from 2 till 6. Mick will be alongside me for the visit of Swansea, who Town scored 4 against earlier on in the season. Cameron Burgess, his first game back at Portman Road. In midfield, Mendy to Bove. Loser onto the chest of Bowler. Back it goes to Funi. Funi gives it to Nunez. Rare mistake from him. Nunez towards the centre circle. Plays the ball to the far side, and Greaves, he won't get on it. Out for a throw-in. I wonder if Mehmeti will come on for Nunez at some stage. Hurst at the moment, and Akpom are the latest 2 subs out warming up below us. Abankwah loses the ball. He dallied on it. Well done, Clark. Nunez to Athon, who side-footed it from 18 yards over the bar.
That's a poor miss.
Was.
Oh, it's set up for him beautifully. It's just a lovely slow ball on the ground to him. He could have just done so much better. It's only about 19 yards out, dead centre, nothing in front of him.
Yeah, he knows it as well. I could see by his reactions. Well done, Clark, to take it off Abankwah. Good challenge. Should have been another assist for Nunez. Here's Nkunda. Not getting much joy out of the Town back line tonight. Loser to Bowler in front of us. In goes Burns. Good challenge by the Welshman. Nunez back to Burns. Excellent reverse pass from the Chilean. Burns can't get there ahead of Bowler. Well defended. Actually, it's Funi again coming across.
Good play, positive run from Burns. He knew he couldn't win the ball, so he just makes sure he doesn't get involved. He just allows the defender to just play it out for a throw-in. A throw-in is good, it's half possession, it's high up the pitch. This is where we want to sort of just, stop Watford, simmer them down, just to frustrate them.
Funi did make his Manchester City debut last month in the FA Cup against Exeter. He's been on the bench in the Premier League and the Champions League for City. Furlong with this throw into the Watford area. Kipray's up, but above him is Pollock, headed away by Bowler. We've still got 20 minutes to play, plus added on time. Clark back to Walton. Then we'll hear from, hopefully, a happy Kieran McKenna. Certainly a lot happier than he was after Saturday's 8-goal madness. Pollock forward to Aaron Kunda. Aaron Kunda's got the ball onside. A little bit of a fortunate pass from Pollock, but ended up looking really good inside the area. Wide right, Aaron Kunda tries to play it into the centre, comes off Matthew Siwa, and it's the first corner of the second half to Watford.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed with our positional play. That's just a hopeful ball from the goalkeeper, and it puts an attacking player clear.
Watford play the corner kick quickly, back to Beauvais, now loser. Beauvais once again looking up, in comes his cross, headed away by Greaves in a central defensive area. Bowler's nod forward, flicked on through to Walton. Town fans will be fearing the worst, but their team does still lead 1-0. Burns with a switch of play to Clark. Excellent ball, no loser, got back and headed it out.
Yeah, Wes Burns, with his experience, has just shown Eggerly exactly what you can do when you're not really on top of the opposition. You can sort of get yourself. Just think about how many times Wes Burns has touched the ball since he's been on.
Here is Burns again, wide right, running at Bowler. In comes his cross towards the far stick, volleyed away. There's a man down in the middle, Athon. Kieran McKenna appeals for a penalty. Obviously all the away fans agree with him, but nothing doing in the eyes of the referee. Ince is coming on for Watford. He's going to replace a Banquer, so that's an attacking change for Watford. Off goes the centre half, on comes an experienced winger, and Mehmeti and Hurst about to come on to pep up Ipswich Town's attacking threat.
Whether he's been brought down or not, I don't know, but we should have somebody attacking that position. That where Wes Burns put that ball, 6-yard box, dead centre of the goal. Somebody could have headed the ball without jumping. You know, we must have somebody attacking that position.
This Furlong with a throw-in for Ipswich Town, leading 1-0. Back it goes towards O'Shea. One would imagine that Nunez and Athon are about to make way. Far side, Greaves. Ball down the line. Pollock nods it out away from Athon. Still working hard for the cause, the Spaniard. 17 minutes to go. Greaves gets the throw in from Clark. In goes the challenge of Ngakia. It's a back four for Watford. Now the fullbacks Ngakia and Bowler. They've got Pollock and Fumi at centre half. So on comes Mehmeti for Nunez. And Hurst, who scored here a couple of seasons ago, will replace Ivan Athon. This would be Town's 16th win from 32 games, so 50% win rate if they can get this one over the line. And of course it takes them into 3 home games, which obviously would be far from easy. I think Hull, in terms of points per game, are the best away side in the division. Swansea got this to play for on Saturday, and of course Leicester, goodness me, at half-time in the live table, Leicester were 3 points from safety in the bottom 3, and they've still got some good players, Leicester, for all their woes. Throw in from Greaves. Kayuste into the area, square comes his pass, cleared away before Mehmeti can get on it, nodded forward by Kipre. Up goes Loser on the edge of his area, headed forward by Matu Siwa, but it should be Selvik. One of the many Norwegians now plying their trade in English football, Selvik.
Yeah, well, now if Burns and Mehmeti can sort of have an immediate effect on the game like Wes Burns has, then that's exactly what we want, because already this game is into the Watford half on a consistent basis.
Burns unlucky not to take the ball off Mendy. That was risky from Watford at the back. Finney had done very well, but Mendy overplayed it somewhat. Pollock, edge of his area. Watford trail 1-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. Finney, little disguised ball into midfield to Mendy. Mendy up to halfway, and Ince has tormented Town in the past. Tom Ince, now 33 years of age. That would have been sensational for Blackpool against Ipswich. Ince, lovely ball forward to fellow sub Doumbia. Edge of the area, infield to Beauvais. Beauvais gets away from Kayuste and pulls the trigger. Oh, it just didn't have enough bend on it. Walton was springing off to his left-hand side. It kind of beaten him, but it was off target, thankfully.
Yeah, but again, it's this sort of long, sort of hopeful ball, if you like, out of defence, just over the back of our back four, and it's found another player goal side and causing a trouble.
Furlong up to halfway, controlled by Funi, who gives it to Bowler. Bowler closed down by Hurst, keen to get involved. The back header from Funi somehow reaches Loser. Well done, Kayuste. Kayuste to Burns. Burns on the right-hand side, looking up. Infield his pass to Matu Siwa. Furlong to O'Shea. Back to Walton, making Doumbia run. Walton out towards Kayuste. Passing it round at the back. O'Shea finds Furlong. Furlong off Ince, out for a throw-in. Let's go back to Graham at 1-0 Town.
Middlesbrough still 1-1 with Leicester. Hull back in front at home to Derby 3-2. Southampton 4, QPR 0 now.
Okay, you stay to Clark in the central area, out to the right hand side, and Burns. This might be a chance for Town to go 2 up. Lovely ball from Burns. Clark inside the area, shoots deflected, might drop down to Greaves. Greaves into the middle, deflected and in. Town get a second goal. The flag has stayed down, and it's George Hurst who goes and celebrates with the away fans. Ipswich Town lead Watford by 2-0 with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's a good goal. There's a lot of little contributions from everybody, but the man for me is Wes Burns.
Yep.
It's the amount of times he's got himself in possession of the ball, a chance to either attack Watford or to slow the game down. You know, when you compare it, I don't want to keep on about the young lad, Eggerly. He had gone out of the game. He didn't know how to get himself back in. Wes Burns knows exactly how to get into the game. He knows exactly how to get the game into the Watford half, stop us defending all the time, and that's consequences of all that. That is a terrific sort of goal. We've worked hard for that one, and well done, George Hurst. You're in exactly the right position to steer it in.
Yep, well done, George Hurst. Lovely to see him back on the score sheet. It's a second goal in 17 games that for him. And he goes to 7 for the season. That'll mean an awful lot to him. It's well done Jacob Greaves as well to recycle that ball. 12 minutes to go. Well, it really would be criminal if Town didn't go on and win this game. Ball forward, Hurst going to try and get the better of Mfuni. Hurst has an eye for goal inside the area. He pulls his left footer wide. After he got the better of Funi there, there's another opportunity for him.
I can understand him wanting to have a shot, but on that occasion the best one was to set Mehmeti up. It really was, to his left hand side. Just a simple pass, 3 or 4 yards, changed the angle. We could have been 3-0.
On the far side, it was a really popular goal in terms of his celebrations from his teammates. That for Hurst, as Watford with Doumbia play a little 1-2 down that far side. Aaron Kunda's not going to get the better of Kipre. Kipre goes down after a little shove from his mate. Free kick behind left back to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, I thought he could have played the ball to Christian Walton, but he's just decided, I'm going to buy a free kick here, and he got one comfortably. I mean, he just waited for the barge in the back, and when it came, it just went down, and referee gives it.
Loser is going off to be replaced by another midfielder, Pierre Ekwa, on loan from St Etienne. Played against Ipswich Town for Sunderland a few seasons ago. The Town fans in fine fettle, enjoying their trip to Hertfordshire, seeing their side hopefully head towards a third successive win on this pitch. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come before 10:30. Town bouncing back from that huge disappointment at Wrexham the other day, and going into 3 successive home games in good heart as well, as long as we don't see any craziness in this final 10 minutes plus. 2-0 to the Tractor Boys, they're singing. Out for a throw to Watford, losing ground in the hunt for a top 6 finish. Haven't, in all honesty, looked like a side capable of making the top 6 based on this performance. There is Pollock, nowhere near as good as Wrexham, who we've seen in recent times, or even Derby that we saw a couple of weeks ago. Ball's out for a throw to Town at left back. Good for Jacob Greaves to get involved in that goal as well.
And this is a mid-table team if ever I've seen one. Oh, what's it?
Aaron Kunda's thrown the ball into a rather tender area of Jacob Greaves, who's gone down. O'Shea and Matsusia have both gone to complain to the referee about that from Aaron Kunda. It was a bit naughty. Greaves has got a hold of the ball, and the referee was very close to the situation, so who too his assistant. It's actually going to be just the throw in to Greaves after all of that. No sanction for Aaron Kunda. "9 minutes exactly to go live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport."
Just seen the replay of it.
It was naughty, wasn't it?
It was silly.
He knew what he was doing.
It was funny, but it was silly.
Maybe funny for you, not so much for Jacob Greaves, bless him. Matusiwa to halfway. Mehmeti gets the better of his man and lifts it down the left-hand side to goal scorer Hurst. In comes a challenge on Hurst. Out goes the ball far side for a throw-in to Jack Clarke or Jacob Greaves. Clarke throws it to Greaves. Greaves gives it back to Clarke. Watford get it away to Bove. Bove slips, free kick given for a foul on him by Kayuste. He gets sacked in the morning, the Ipswich Town fans are chanting towards Ed Still.
Well, you do, you get the sack for less than this. You know, you've 3 games, you haven't won all 3, you're out.
Here is Funny to halfway for Watford. Out to the far side, Aaron Kunda brings it down nicely. Looks up, early ball into the box. Too much on it. Watford have a man going down in the middle. Penalty kick for a foul by Furlong on Doumbia. A lifeline for Watford with 7.5 minutes to go. Furlong gets a yellow card, which might be his 10th of the season, which would mean he'd miss the next 2.
I'd like to see it again. I don't think it was a foul. I think it was a real dive.
Well, this makes things interesting. Ince fancies it. O'Shea still protesting to the referee. He's made the decision immediately. Yeah, I think it was a bit naughty from Furlong. And now Dara O'Shea's been told to get out of the area. Bove's pushing him as well. Well, George Hurst might end up the match winner here tonight. Town lead 2-0. 7 minutes to go exactly. Watford have an opportunity to get into this game. Penalty kick to Watford. Tom Ince on it, off to our left-hand side. Can they bring it back to 2-1? Yeah. Saved by Walton. Still 2-0. Great stop from the goalkeeper. Town still have that clean sheet, and Ince's head is in his hands.
Good save.
It was a good save.
Good save.
Pleased for him off the back of Saturday as well. He's still celebrating at Walton. Got a lot of stick for the goals against him at Wrexham. Watford, edge of the Ipswich Town area, out to the right-hand side. Oh, feigned cross, eventually left-footed, in it goes. Town have got a man down inside the box, holding his face. Something off the ball. Dara O'Shea. Town defenders a furious yellow card for Walton. What's he doing here, the referee? A stop play. Walton's got a yellow card for the protest, so O'Shea's up. Looks all right from here. He feels he got a smack in the face from someone when the ball came in. All of a sudden a bit of action in Ipswich Town's penalty area, which hasn't really happened an awful lot this evening. The referee just still speaking to Dara O'Shea. Now things are sort of calmed down. Did take a smack in the face from a Watford player. Very difficult to see on the very grainy images above us. After all that has calmed down. 5 minutes to go. Walton saved a penalty, and it's still 2-0 Ipswich.
Yeah, it was a good save as well. He guessed right, but he had to sort of stretch for it. It was going just inside the post, and a good save. Johnson's
coming on for Ipswich Town, and I guess he might be needed from the start on Saturday. Who'd have thought that Azor Matusiwa wouldn't get to 10 yellow cards before anyone else? As Funny plays it forward, caught late, was he, by Hurst? Free kick at the back. He got one on the opening day of the season for West Brom when he was then sent off, Furlong. He's had 8 since then before tonight, so it's just whether that one on the opening day counts. And this is his 10th or just his 9th, but he's very, very close to a ban if he hasn't got one. Here are Watford trying to get into the Ipswich area. Kip Bray nudged to the floor by Aaron Kunda. He kicks the post in frustration. Free kick to Town. Moments away from an important victory.
Well, from the Watford point of view, that was silly to make that challenge. Kipri's going to play the ball out for a throw-in, which is going to be close to the corner flag. You know, just take that as your possession. Don't go and give away a stupid free kick.
Christian Walton. As a number of Watford supporters leave early having given up on this game. Their side 2-0 behind, Eggerly and Hurst. Talking of Hurst, the ball's just beat him in the air on the bounce. Ince touches it on. Here is Bove. Bove trying to slip it through to Kunda, who slipped. Kipre brings it away. He loses the ball. Caught late by Bove. Free kick for the challenge on him. More and more Watford fans angry. Kunda's down. Kipre's down. In fact, this game is stop-start at the moment. It'll suit Ipswich Town a lot more than Watford. This is fine as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, this is
Johnson coming on for Town.
Yeah, he come on for Furlong. Don't want to take any chances there.
Kunda still down. Clearly must be injured. Doesn't serve Watford any benefit for him to be time wasting. Johnson back in the squad tonight in the absence of Leif Davis. It'd be strange if Town have neither Furlong nor Davis this coming weekend against Swansea. Let's go back to Graham.
Another goal at the MKM Stadium. Hull now in complete control against Derby. 4-2 they lead. And at St Mary's, Southampton have scored a fifth. 5-0 they lead QPR. They're in good form.
Yeah, they are. A few people fancying Southampton to be in the mix. Of course, Town have still got to go to St Mary's. That's going to be a really tough game for them. Clark it is who's coming off for Johnson. Kunda is still down on the edge of the Ipswich Town area, so we're a few minutes away from the end of this game. There's numerous stoppages recently. Let's see exactly where Johnson's going to play. Clark being saved for Saturday. Johnson's just going to go across to that area. And the Town are going to go to a back three pretty much. There's a possibility. Furlong and Johnson as the two wing-backs. Kunda wincing as he comes off near side. 88.5 minutes played. Although a lot more than 90 seconds still to go. O'Shea to Kayuste in the centre circle. Back to Kipre. Clean sheet will be very important to Ipswich Town as well. Matthew Siwa along the floor to Burns. Overlapping down the right is Mehmeti. Hasn't been on the ball a great deal since he came on. Got his first goal for the club at the weekend, Anis Mehmeti. Burns to Furlong. Furlong looking up, can't play the ball forward, gives it back to O'Shea. Back to Furlong on this near side. To Hurst. Hurst with a header back to Mehmeti. Mehmeti controls it into a Watford player who couldn't do anything with it. Here is Hurst on the right-hand side. The ball breaks to Hurst down the right. Can he get there ahead of Bowler? The answer is no. Bowler clears. It was Ekwa who was challenging for Watford, the recent sub. Well done by Burns. Town fans like that. About 30 seconds away from being told how much added on time there is going to be in this game. Walton outside his penalty area. Left-footed, looking for the run of Greaves' far side. Headed on by Ngakia, out for a throw to Ipswich.
Yeah, we've weathered the storm nicely and we've got ourselves in a lovely position. Penalty miss has obviously helped us greatly, but 6 minutes.
Yep, just heading into added on time. Kieran McKenna sets a timer on his watch as the ball goes out for a throw to Ipswich outside the Watford penalty area. Lots of empty red seats in the Graham Taylor stand opposite, as Ipswich, with Johnson the substitute, have it over in the far right corner. Had a play for an Ipswich Town throw, that'll do, waste a bit more time. Nice to hear from Ben Johnson last week on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, talking about how he never considered leaving Ipswich Town, how he'd love to be part of a promotion-winning squad this season and understands the position that he's in terms of his lack of minutes this season. Ball out of play for a throw again to Ipswich Town, managing this little period well. Greaves throws it towards Johnson. Johnson on his chest, can't control it. Out behind for a Watford goal kick. Selvick looking for a replacement ball. Well, if I didn't score, it would be different. perhaps.
Yeah, 6 minutes would have been a long added sort of bit of time if it had been 2-1, but at 2-0 I don't think there's a problem.
Furlong does well against Irankunda, then gives it away there to Bove. Bove to the far side, and Ngakia, the half-time sub. Infield looking for Ince, easily read by Kayuste. Given away though. Watford have it with Ince, thinking over the top, looking for Irankunda. Little header down from O'Shea, picked up by Doumbia. Was he fouled by Mehmeti? No, says the referee. Under pressure from Mehmeti. He skewed his shot woefully behind. Walton wasting a little bit of time. Just got to remember he's on a yellow card before he does too much of that. That's what the referee's reminding him of. 4 minutes to go. It's been a successful trip for the town fans, singing their side home. Kipre to Walton inside the Ipswich Town penalty box. Walton out to the right hand side, and Mehmeti, nice touch from him, holds it up under pressure from Ekwa, then finds O'Shea. O'Shea to Kipre. Irankunda goes in on him. Kipre gets the ball away up towards Johnson, won by Ngakia. Matthew Siwa to halfway, and Johnson in central midfield. Mehmeti's making a run. Johnson still has the ball, gives it out to Burns. Well played by Johnson. Burns down the right hand side, won't be doing anything rash, just holds on to it. Feigns to cross, hasn't done, taken it towards the corner flag, then rolled it out of play for a Watford throw. Kieran McKenna doing some organising, so too Martin Pert, just bringing back Jacob Greaves, putting Kipre in place as well as Watford clear their lines. It's over the top of Doumbia and O'Shea, who just can't get beyond the town captain. Kipre lobs it forward, 2-0 Town, 3 minutes of added on time still to play. Bowler falls onto the ball under pressure from Mehmeti. Free kick Watford. We'll also hopefully hear from a Town player before 10:30. Selvik, left-footed, straight downfield. O'Shea with a good header. Bove, not good from Kayuste. Bove's on the ball for Watford. Paul behind Irankunda. Greaves clears it forward to Hurst. Might have to go it alone. Can he go it alone? He's got a chance. He's put one defender on his backside. Hurst, edge of the area, chance to finish it off. Oh my goodness me, that's a mile over the bar. He's quite right to curse himself and pull his shirt up over his face. George knows he should have done better.
But he has done well. The ball is super. I thought, this is going to beat the defender, and George Hurst is going to get on the ball, and he did much better initially with it, the way he beat the first defender, but then the shot is not very good. But it's a terrific run and it's a terrific pass.
Forward from Selvik, headed up in the air by Doumbia. Johnson holding on to Ngakia, 6 of one and half of a dozen of the other, really. Here goes Ngakia again with a little back heel to Irankunda into the Ipswich Town area. Still Irankunda, great play from him. Oh, what a save from Walton. That looks certain to be 2-1. Hit from a distance by Ekwa. The attempt to flick from Doumbia has gone out behind. Still 2-0 Ipswich Town as Walton takes the praise of Greaves and O'Shea.
Yeah, good save. We've gone asleep a little bit, defensively. We shouldn't allow a player to sort of get in like that. I mean, he's running past everybody and gets close enough to have a sort of shot at goal, and great save.
Oh, hit him in the face, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily he just turned a cheek. If it had been on the nose, that would have been bloody, but whatever it takes. Yeah, his face is very red after that. It's the same colour as his kit, to be honest, Walton. He's certainly done his job tonight. Deserves this clean sheet. Particularly he and Dara O'Shea, who took a lot of stick after the weekend. Can mean a lot to them. And Greaves, of course, in the side tonight. Furlong out of play from him. 20 seconds to go. Throw for Watford. Bowler to take it. Just a few yards from Kieran McKenna, who we'll hear from hopefully in the next half hour, 40 minutes or so on BBC Radio Suffolk. Furlong on the deck wins a header. Mehmeti nods it on. Cleared forward by Funi, blocked off by Kipre. Kayuste steps in there. That's got to be it. Referee, he heard me. And it's the third successive win for Ipswich Town at Vicarage Road. It's become a happy hunting ground, and short term they bounced back very well from Saturday's disappointment at Wrexham. That 5-3 defeat has been followed up by a 2-0 victory. Sindra Waller-Egley and George Hurst on the score sheet for Town in Hertfordshire.
Yeah, I think it was a super first half. It was a first half which, we absolutely dominated. We were often at sort of over 60% of possession, and all the stats were going in our favour. But then, the manager, Ed Still, he got it right at half-time. He wasn't satisfied with his team. He made 2 changes. They worked for him. He obviously asked for a bit more pace about the game. They did it, and it was working nicely. And we actually, for a long period there, when Watford were in charge of the second half, we didn't have any real personality that wanted to step forward in a difficult position and say, right, look, I'll show you what we need to do. We need to get on the ball. We need to slow it down. Do the opposite to Watford. Don't get involved in an end-to-end battle and a quick, fast game. Slow the thing down. We're 1-0 in front. Just slow the game back down and let's take command of the game. And in actual fact, we never really had anybody that was doing that. And I looked at Egley, who's playing very close to where we're sat, and I thought, you look as if you're really not with it. You're not thinking, you're not understanding what's happening around you, you're not making yourself available. But he is a young lad, and that's what happens with young lads. And Wes Burns steps onto the pitch, and within 5 minutes he's had possession of the ball probably 7 or 8 times, and he's actually taken the game from a defensive situation into an attacking situation just by running the ball down the outside, keeping possession of it, slowing the game down occasionally. He was super. It was a super substitution. It was exactly what we needed, and then consequently we then sort of all of a sudden, instead of Watford being in the ascendancy, the game levelled out, and we slowly but surely sort of started to get control again. And then of course the second goal came, and for me that was game over then. I didn't really realise that there was going to be a penalty given, of course, which was silly. We shouldn't do that, but the goalkeeper's got us out of trouble. And then whilst it stayed at 2-0, for me it was comfortable. All the subs did well. Burns did well by keeping possession and demanding the ball and showing everybody else that even when things aren't going your way, you can take control of a game. George Hurst did well. He must be getting fed up with the stick he's receiving, and at least he's got the personality to say, right, okay, I don't totally agree with you, but I'll show you what I'm all about. And he wasn't on the pitch long, but he showed everybody what he can do. He can score a goal. He can keep possession. He can rattle 1 or 2 defenders, and he actually got himself into a position with a terrific run and a bit of control and a bit of pace where he could have scored a second goal. So, the substitutes came on and actually told people, say like Matazua, he should have been the man to slow the game down, but he didn't. And you expected Dan Neil from Sunderland that he would have the ability and the experience to do it. He didn't. Jack Clark, who we know loves to get possession of the ball and slow the game down, he didn't either. So we have people guilty of not doing what we've needed to do, and maybe that's where we've been going wrong. When it's going for us, we're good and we get a lot of people stepping forward. When it's not going so well for us, I think there's too many people take a backward step. That's our problem, and it needed 1 or 2 of the substitutes to say this is how to do it, and they did. They came on, Netti, Burns, Hurst, Kachus not so much, but they came on and showed the others what they needed to do. In the end, good performance, good result, sets us up nicely.
Yeah, a lot of people very critical over Ipswich Town at the weekend and demanding they respond to that. Well, they have. They've come back down to this part of the world and they have beaten Watford by 2-0. Sizable victory this for the Blues. Kieran McKenna's thoughts are on the way.